up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we're reviewing Top Gun. This film came out in 1986 and was directed by Tony Scott and stars Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer. Now before we start, hit the like button, subscribe, post notification bell so you can for every video, and let's just start. Let's start talking about the good. So all the actors and actors, I thought they're all fantastic. Especially Tom Cruise, who of course plays Maverick, and Val Kilmer, who plays Iceman. I think those two characters are very, very good in this film. The opening sequence, I thought it was good. It's basically the jet fighters are doing a test, and obviously the Top Gun theme is playing, and also Highway to the Danger Zone. I really, really enjoyed the opening sequence because it was fun and very entertaining and very exhilarating. It was a very good opening sequence for this film. The cinematography, which of course there's shots of cameras, the lighting, fantastic. I really, really love the cinematography for this film. The whole 80s color palette and the fun is present throughout the entire film. There's one sequence in particular with this blue lighting, sort of blue, pink, purple lighting in the control room. I thought it was great lighting. The first act of the film, I thought it was great. It sets up the characters well. I enjoyed every single character in this film. I really loved, of course, Val Kilmer's character, and of course, Tom Cruise's character, Maverick. And I really also liked Goose, played by Anthony Edwards. I thought he was a very good character in this film, and he was definitely a standout in this film. The relationship between Maverick and Goose, of course, Tom Cruise and Anthony Edwards' character, great relationship. I really enjoyed how their relationship progresses from the beginning of the film to the end of the film. There are hints that they knew each other before, and I think that when it leads up to a certain point, which I'll get to later, it really ties the relationship together, and especially it leads into what happens in the end of the film. Maverick and Iceman, who is of course played by Val Kilmer, their relationship is handled perfectly. The way it progresses from the first act of the film to the third act of the film, with their whole rivalry and how it ends up being a friendship by the end of the film, I really, really enjoyed that dynamic between those two characters. The relationship between Maverick and Charlotte, or Charlie Blackwood, who's played by Kelly McGillis, great relationship. I really enjoyed Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis' portrayal of these characters. And what the director chose to do with the sequences with those two characters, I think was very, very entertaining. The second act of the film, I thought it was very entertaining. A lot happens in the second act. Some of it is not really necessary to the story, but it is a lot of fun. There's a volleyball sequence, which of course I play volleyball, but there's a great volleyball sequence in the second act of the film. It's just a fun 80s sequence. Cinematography looks good. You could see what's happening. It's just a simple volleyball game, but of course the shots and the cameras and the lighting obviously needs to be good in order for you to actually see what's going on. And I think they did a great job with that sequence. It really captures the fun of this sort of summer film. This film has one of, if not the best love sequence in any film that I've ever seen. It takes place in the second act, and the cinematography alone with the blue lighting is fantastic. I really enjoyed the lighting for that sequence. It really works on a level because, of course, this is an 80s film, and 80s films aren't known to have that sort of lighting in them. And I thought that Take My Breath Away, of course, that is one of the classic 80s songs. I thought it was the perfect song for that sequence, and it fits the tone of that entire sequence. The death sequence and the death scene of Goose is very, very emotional. It takes place in the second act of the film. Of course, something goes wrong with one of the planes. Of course, Tom Cruise and Goose are on the plane together. The plane crashes. Goose dies. Very, very emotional sequence, and it's carried out all the way until the end of that third act. There are also many tense sequences, especially Cougar's entire near-death scene. One of the pilots is named Cougar, and he almost dies in this film, and it is very, very exhilarating and keeps you on the edge of your seat during that entire sequence. The third act of the film, I thought it was great. I really, really enjoyed the third act of the film. It's basically Maverick rejoins the Air Force after sort of quitting. He does that after Goose's death, and the entire dogfight sequence in that third act is one of the most exciting sequences of an 80s film. The score by Harold Faltermeyer, I thought it was a great score. The iconic Top Gun theme is one of my favorite 80s themes of any action film. I really, really enjoyed the theme, and I always get excited when that theme shows up in the film. And the ending sequence, I thought it was a great ending. Of course, Maverick is given the rank of Top Gun, and I really enjoy the ending sequence. It ties everything together of what was done in the opening sequence all the way to the end of the sequence. And that's about it. Now let's move on to the bad. So some sequences could be condensed. This is a minor issue. It's not something that I will probably have that much of a problem with the multiple times I will rewatch this film, but it's just something that you should probably know. That's about it. Top Gun is a fantastic action film. It is easily a timeless 80s classic, and I highly recommend it. And I'm going to give Top Gun an A-. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like button, subscribe to the post notification bell so you know for every video. I'm Peter. Thank you for watching.